switch the scene up then and go in game. And yeah, we are here. Game number 4 now between L Clan and TheKebab. Currently 3-0 to L Clan, with the 4th game being here right away. This one, as usual, is Nomad, as is the same with all game 4s in the group stages of the group stage of the tournament. Sorry, and I think this one will be very much a walkover again for L Clan, I feel, because if TheKebab haven't managed to get a game and they've not really been close yet, I'm not sure how they're going to be able to pull this one off on Nomad. And I think, typically speaking, Nomad is a difficult map to play. And I think that last game was where they really had their best shot at taking a game. But I think the Kebab team kind of lack the team wall. They kind of lack, I think, a communication, judging by the way that they engaged a lot of the time. They weren't really communicating that well, especially, like I said, in the previous game with the Knights of Purple being so mistimed with his teammates, Blues Knights. So I feel like that kind of thing is really costing them. And as well as that, I mean, in 1v1, they probably would struggle against this level of play. Obviously, Dugao, Fiage, Miguel, Chris, really big names in the AOC community, and all of these guys have had their name in the top 10 players list of all time at some point based on rating, and it's no surprise that they are managing to pull through and win these games. It's kind of expected, but like I said, I would still like to see the Kebab team do some real damage and maybe, you know, put one L Clan player really down and out of this game. I feel like they had the best shot in the last game, like I say, with attacking Chris really early on. And that drush was fantastic from, who was it who did the drush? KTB against Chris. The drush was really good. And he actually had Chris really on the back foot, but they couldn't really follow through. And Chris was quick to wall up and defend himself and keep himself safe until later on, when he could later push out and regain map control. So anyway, let's introduce the players and see where they are on the map. Obviously, Nomad is a little different to most maps because you do start in non-locked locations. And you're not necessarily with your teammates, as we saw in the Psy versus Don't Lame Us Please game on Nomad, where Mr. Yo was a million miles away from his teammates, yet he still managed to do just fine. So down to the south of the map in the yellow for the L Clan team, we've got Dugao. He's playing as the Persians here, and he is very close to 2 enemy players, and we'll introduce them a little later on. Off to the far east of the map in the teal, we've got L Clan Fiage. He's playing as the Chinese. And his teammates are up to the north of the map. We've got, who have we got here? We've got El Clan Dobliable. Sorry, I can never pronounce that name. AKA Chris, playing as the Mayans. And just next to Chris, across this little wood line, we've got El Clan Risque, AKA Miguel, playing as the Vikings there. So Chris and Miguel very close together in the north. We've got Dugao kind of on his own in the south here, which is, you know, a little bit awkward for him. And then we've got Fiage in the pocket position, I guess you could say, way out in the east, away from everyone. But obviously, he's away from the enemy as well, even further away from the enemy than his teammates. So he still is in the pocket, just a long reinforced time between him and the opposing team. Now, over on the other side for the Kebab team, the south of the map, very close to Dugao here, we've got Burke in the red playing as the Mayans, and in the blue we've got Melancholia playing as the Vikings as well. And these guys, you know, could 2v1 Dugao down here pretty quickly, but oh dear, blue gonna lose a villager here if he's not careful. Looks like that TC is not gonna fire another shot, and wow, blue just getting out very, very luckily. And Dugao here knows just how close they are. He might try and take both boar, but it looks like Blue's going to get there in time to stop Dugao getting the second boar, and Blue's going to manage to secure 2. Red has secured a boar as well, and Dugao just getting a single boar so far. Now, for Blue here, he could come in and lame these deer from Dugao. If they really want to put Dugao down, they should try and lame these deer. Blue as well, stealing a deer from Dugao means that he still has a boar at the top. I mean, stealing a boar from Degao. Still means that he's got a boar at the top, but oh dear, blue losing villagers here. One villager going down there, nearly losing another with just 3 HP. That would have been really bad for him had he have lost that, and that was very, very close. So I wonder if he scouted this boar at the top. That boar might just move into his vision. He might already know it's there, but yeah, if that boar just moves over here, then blue might secure himself another boar as well, which would be 3 boars compared to the 1 of Degao. And if he really wants to be lame, he could start killing these deer as well, at the risk of losing a villager to Degao's TC. Other guys for the Kebab team, over to the southwest of the map in the blue, we've got KTB. He's in the pocket position, I guess you could say, playing as the Chinese. And last but not least, over to the west in the purple, we've got I am Kazva playing as the Persians over here. And he's pretty far away from Chris and from Miguel. So with purple being so far over to the left of the map, and he's on the flank technically, he might get away with doing a fast castle here. And as the Persians, that's really what you want to do anyway, so you can get some quick knights out, so you can get your TCs up, and so you can get camels on the map if your opponents are doing knights as well. So I think, again, this location here for the starting locations, I guess you could say, for the Kebab team looks pretty good, and I think they've got, once again, a shot at it. Blue here should, yeah, see that boar. Looking at his point of view now, we'll be able to bring that in, and that's 3 boars for him. So in theory, you know, he should be up to the feudal age quickly. They could start pressuring Degao. Now the problem is, these guys don't have a close stone at all. They have got gold, which is up here in the north, but that is at risk from the water. And at the moment, we've got Fiage docking this center lake. No one else is docked the center but Fiage. And of course, if Degao scouts this gold here, which we'll have a look if he's done that now. I imagine he has... Oh, wow, he's not. But if he does eventually scout that gold, which I imagine he will eventually do, as he heads over here to take these berries, or maybe even take these deer. He might have to take the berries. He might not, actually. No, he's going to have enough food. He should be fine. But he may take the berries anyway. But he might eventually scout this this gold, in which case he can tell Fiage that it's there. And we can expect to see some galleys coming here and pushing blue off of the gold if he manages to take it. Now, for Degao, he has got a very close stone. He could put some defensive towers up, knowing that he's going to be 2v1. Obviously, he sees this TC here. He knows there's a TC here as well, judging by the dead villager. He can only assume. And I think Degao might be in a bit of trouble, but I imagine with someone as skillful as him, he should be just fine. But he's got enough food here with these deer and with that boar, of course with the sheep that he's got as well, to manage to get up to the feudal age in a good time. He's actually not... Oh, he has got a dock. I was going to say, like, how... If he'd not docked, that would have been insane. But yeah, he has got a dock, of course, and he has got 7 fishing ships out, so we've got a little bit of food income from that as well. Clicking up to the feudal age now, and so far still not finding that gold, but Fiage will have found it, because he's got a sheep there, and he did have a sheep there. My goodness me, where did that sheep go from Fiage? Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. Haha! Yes, Fiage does know that that gold is there, and he's actually Xing that on the map. So Degao knows there is gold, Fiage knows there is gold, and these guys are only going to assume, or they are going to probably check that there is gold here as well, and that blue is taking it. Looking at Degao's point of view, of course, he's going to spot that. He's going to see those blue villagers taking gold there, and he's going to know what's up. So he's up to feudal now. Anyone else up to feudal yet? Pretty much everybody's up, aside from Fiage and Miguel, and I think Degao's going to be up first as well. So that's a really good time for him, and he's going to not take any stone yet, which is interesting. But he could certainly build a tower on this hill to protect himself, or save it in case to build a counter tower to red and blue. Now, like I said, fortunately for Degao, red and blue don't have any stone back here. They do have one right at the back, but that's really far away, and I don't know if they'd have scouted it. So Degao up to feudal, and he's actually building a watchtower on his gold. That's actually not too bad. It will be in the range of blue's gold here as well, and it will keep Degao's gold safe. Meanwhile, Degao, is he building anything on the water? Well, no, he's not. He's wanting to fast castle this. Meanwhile, the red player Burke is going up to feudal as well, and it looks like he is getting ready for a tower of sorts. And maybe just trying to scout out and see what he can find from Dugao here. Now, the blue player is up to feudal as well, and we can expect to see him making quite a few galleys due to the fact he is the Vikings. He's got 3 docks up, and he's very close to Chris's docks as well as KTB, who's on his own team. So they probably will take out those docks, those fishing ships from Chris even, and unless Chris starts adding in some galleys pretty quickly, it looks like with that 3 dock rush from blue, that those fishing ships will probably go down. And I think, yeah, once again, this actually might not be too bad for the Kebab team. That tower's going to go up behind Dugao's woodline, and it's going to be a little awkward. It will force him away, as that is in range. And we're going to see another tower coming up on the left side. Where is Red getting his stone from? Am I missing? Oh, my goodness me. There is a stone over here, and he's got complete control of that. Burke going to be towering up Mr. Dugao here, but Dugao, I think, already up to the castle age now, or very nearly. He's just short of 10 gold and no food now. He has got his 2 feudal age buildings, and he will be clicking up. Meanwhile, at the back, Chris is going to be 2v1 on the water. And they're also taking out Miguel's fishing ships as well. The Kebab looking great at the moment. Though they don't have the score lead, they are going to be taking these fishing ships down. And, well, Chris is running those ships away for now. And meanwhile, Blue taking out the ships of Miguel in the corner. At the north of the map, Dugao is fishing freely. And we've got Fiage in the middle, still fishing away, and also on the edge as well, the second dock there. Fiage, playing Chinese, will want to fast castle this one if he can, and I'm sure he will be going up to the castle age now as well. Fiage up to castle. The purple player is up to castle as well. He's fast castling, even though he's on the flank here. The distance is so huge that the fast castle is just expected. Meanwhile, we've got Miguel doing 2 ranges over here on this left side. It looks like he's going to be making crossbows once he reaches castle, which is interesting. Now, a lot of situations we see the Viking player just resigned to slinging, but in this situation, it looks like the Viking player in every game so far has had a little bit of military interaction, which is great. So, Chris first up to the castle age. I think he's the first one up, and he's in here as the Mayans. Sorry, I thought it was the Aztecs. And it looks like he is taking quite a bit of stone at the back for his next TCs. He's got his first... Actually, sorry, he's getting a castle up here in the middle of the map. Okay, that's a kind of a weird location for a castle, to be honest with you. I mean, it kind of makes sense from a resource standpoint. Obviously, there's, 2 gold piles and 2 stone piles over here. But this area of the map is not really at risk at all. This left bottom area of the map is completely walled up by Dugao. Fiage is in the center of the map. There's not really any chance of this area being raided too heavily, but I guess they want to make sure they secure those resources, and Chris will make some plumed archers to run them over to the left side. But yeah, kind of a weird location for a castle. Like I say, it's probably literally just to secure the resources here. There is a lot of gold, but kind of strange. Anyway, left side, Dugao getting some knights out now. There are quite a lot of towers, though, from Burke. Burke is still feudal, however, and Dugao going to start massing some knights behind this, I think. We've also got the blue player, who is still feudal as well. He is... I clicked on the wrong person, my bad. Yeah, he's about to click up to castle now, but still feudal. However, he did do quite a few galleys, as well as the green player here at the back, so it's kind of expected that these guys would be feudal for a little longer. Miguel, though, getting some fishing ships kills, and these guys have not reacted at all. Blue losing all of his fishers back here, and he's not sending his galleys over there. My goodness me. Miguel going to get an absolute killing spree over on this left-hand side. Oh, I love that so much. And yeah, he's going to get all of those fishing ships down without Blue even noticing. That is a huge mistake. And finally he's noticed, but my god, that is painful to watch. And this is where the Kebab kind of lose it, This is where they begin to struggle and fall apart. Kind of those kind of plays like that, missing that was so huge, and it's cost them massively. They had an advantage on the water, and now it is gone. Meanwhile, Dugao's pushing forwards with some battering rams, taking out these towers. He's got support from Fiage here. Fiage sending his knights forward, and these guys are still both feudal now. as these rams come forwards and take these watchtowers down. On the left side, the purple player adding in some knights and actually taking down Miguel's archers here, but those archers will soon be crossbows, and he has got 3 ranges. But purple got an advantage on this left side for now. But yeah, at the south, we've got plumed archers coming in from Chris, and it's like a 3v2 situation down here, with Chris bringing in those plumed archers, Dugau's knights and Fiege's knights also supporting this. Had a couple of villagers dying there as well. Lots of towers going up for red, and he's towering up like crazy now. But it's almost futile because these rams are already here, and the blue player is only 50% up to castle. The red player is not castled yet still. He's not even clicked up. My god, he's had no gold. He's got 1 villager taking gold over here. What's he doing? He's got no gold. He's not going to be able to click up to castle, and he's going to lose his town center at this rate as these rams come in and the mangonel on the hill, and that's it. These guys have just thrown the game right there. I'm calling it. I mean, the kebab just have not got what it takes, it seems, to be able to hold an area of the map down. The castle times for the Elk Clan team were so much faster. And now they're a castle age, they're able to get that siege in. Red's going to lose his TC here. The question is, will the blue player, if I completely find his name here, reach the castle age before the TC goes down? He will, only just. But that TC is gone. Red will have to rebuild, and that TC for blue is now on fire as those knights get into the back of his wood line, killing those villagers off, and it is absolutely GG at the south of the map. Meanwhile, purple is getting a few villager kills on Miguel at the north, but that's about the only redeeming factor for the kebab team at the moment. The green player in the pocket making a few camels or knights in that stable, sorry. But that TC is down for blue. That's a lot of dead villagers. Red as well, losing those villagers there. And red's now down to 38 population, and that is GG. The game just froze though, and I think the game may have just dropped right there. I'm assuming that the game dropped because the kebab team haven't resigned, but the game is literally just frozen, and I can only assume the game has dropped now, and that these guys have called a GG and just decided not to restore or save or anything like that. It's over for the kebab team. It is done. It is done, and the game is very much won now for these guys. I just don't know. The towers from red, look at these towers. There's so many of them, and it just wasn't enough. It was a nice idea getting those towers up on Dugau, but they really didn't do much damage at all. They're going up on the hill here, and Dugau just relocated his villagers to the back. Meanwhile, yeah, red's just dying, losing his TC. Blue, although he did a few galleys on the water and he had a ton of fishing ships, he didn't get up to the castle age in time to counter the siege. And we've even got Chris down here as the Mayans, just putting in some extra firepower. And that was it. GG. Game number 4 going to Elk Clan, and it's not really